Someone has died on the moon, but was it really an accident, Dash wonders, or was it a murder on the moon? Stick around to find out, because we're starting right now. Today's book review is about Space Case, the first book in the Moon-based Alpha series by Stuart Gibbs. I'm going to walk you guys through the plot of the book, and then I'm going to give you my likes and my dislikes before giving you my overall thoughts. So let's get started and I'll walk you through the plot. Dash Gibson lives with his family on the moon, along with a dozen or two other people. This is not a lot of people to begin with, and so when one of them dies, Dash is kind of suspicious. Because this man had common sense, and so he would know better than to just walk out on the moon without a suit put on properly, especially after he had come up with the rules as to go out with a partner and double check or triple check your shoe. But Dash Gibson is immediately suspicious about what happened and suspects that this man was murdered and it was not an accident. And so he sets out to find out what actually happened and to investigate. And it's just a really fun from there on. And it's, I guess you could call it a murder mystery book in some ways, but I don't think it's that. It's more of a sci-fi book. I mean, it follows a mystery. I would call this more of just realistic fiction and mystery, and I wouldn't call it a murder mystery. This isn't what I would consider to be a murder mystery. Although, to be fair, I haven't read many of those, so maybe I don't know enough to judge on that. But from my experience of books that I've read, I don't think this is to be called a murder mystery. So now my likes. So this was a very funny book. There were lots of other funny parts in it. That this was very entertaining overall. It was written very well and cleverly. It's written from a 12-year-old's perspective, which is nice, and it's fun to see his perspective on living on the moon, which probably isn't what you're going to expect it to be. Stuart also did a great job of setting this book in the future. As like I said earlier, it's set in 2041, so that's definitely a bit of the ways into the future. Like Stuart researched stuff about space, travel, and that kind of thing. So it's based off some factual information, but obviously we don't know how a moon base would actually work because we don't have one yet. I don't know if there's any plans for them, and it's not my business to know. But he did a good job crafting it, which was really nice. And he did a good job with other things in the future. It's not just the moon base that he came up with in the future. Like, he made up a lot of other things, like self-driving cars, or the phones are now watches, like the Apple Watch, but farther along. Like that kind of thing. It's really clever how he did that. Now, I'm being completely honest here. I don't have any dislikes I can come up with for this book. If I looked really, really hard at it and was nitpicky, I probably could come up with one or two things. But if somebody was to ask me what I thought of this book, or if I had any dislikes, I could not come up with anything. This is one of my absolute favorite books. I just cannot come up with dislikes for it. It's entertaining, it's well written, there's not holes in the plot or that kind of thing. It's just an amazing book that does not have any noticeable flaws that I can come up with. And so now, my overall thoughts about this book. This is definitely a 5-star book. It is, like I have said a couple times now, showing its importance, it is one of my favorite books ever. I really enjoy it, and the rest of the series too, but I really enjoy this book, and it is really fun to read. I enjoy it every time. I've read this book probably about a dozen times. It's just amazing. It's well written, it's entertaining. I don't have any problems with it. It's a great book, so you should read it. This is one of my favorite books out of what has to be one of my favorite series by my favorite author. So well, you can tell that this is a great book, because if you trust my recommendations and you like what I like, then you will know that this is a good book. If you enjoy sci-fi stuff, if you enjoy realistic fiction, if the idea of living on the moon sounds interesting to you, if you just like the same books that I like, then you will probably enjoy this book. If you want to hear about more books that I enjoy, be sure to click into this playlist right here. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you next time.